Hello everyone, today I'm going to share with you guys about the human-wildlife conflict in Sabah about the elephant migration issue. But first, I'm going to introduce our group members. There is me, Nur Inta Mardiani, Nurul Nadia, Zainurul Amira, Siti Khadijah, and Nur Fatin Najiha. Okay, let's start with the background of this issue. Sabah, a state in Malaysia, Borneo, is home to the Bornean pygmy elephant, that is Elephas maximus bornensis, one of the smallest subspecies of Asian elephant. These elephants are endemic to Borneo, meaning they are found nowhere else in the world. Known for their gentle behavior and small size compared to other elephants, they mostly live in the lowland tropical rainforests of Sabah, especially in areas like the Kinabatangan floodplain, Tabin Wildlife Reserve, Ulu Segama, Malo Forest, and Central Forest of Sabah. Moreover, these elephants naturally migrate through large forest areas to find food, water, and mates. They follow traditional routes called elephant corridors, which they have used for generations. However, as forests are cleared for development, especially for oil palm plantation, these migration routes are being destroyed or blocked, leading to increased conflict between humans and elephants. Next, I'm going to share about the recent incident related to this issue. First, April 6 and 7, 2025, Sabah Tourism Culture and Environmental Minister Datuk Christina Liu condemned the brutality, described it as an emerging poaching trend and urged better enforcement. Second, April 9, 2025, the Sabah Wildlife Department launched a symposium and three-decade elephant management plan under the Bornean Elephant Action Plan 2020 until 2029. Understanding this event shed light on the serious threat facing Sabah pygmy elephant, habitat loss, fragmented migration routes, and now targeted poaching along human-wildlife interface zone. The combination of tragic incident and swift governmental response highlight the urgency for effective conservation strategies and community involvement. Next, ecological issues. First, habitat loss and fragmentation. Elephant habitats in Sabah, especially in Kinabatangan, are shrinking due to logging and plantations. Forests are broken into small areas, making migration difficult, affecting their role in the ecosystem. Second, human-elephant conflict (HEC). When elephants pass through farm or village, they cause crop damage and property loss. This creates tension with locals, especially in areas like Lower Kinabatangan. Third, population decline and poaching. Although not common, poaching and accidental deaths still happen. Fewer elephants mean weaker forest health as elephants help spread shade and shape the land.
Next is how to prevent and reduce the causes and contributing factors. The first one is stronger protection and anti-poaching laws. Government can enforce bans on ivory trade, or they can use drone surveillance, ranger patrols, and AI camera traps. The second one is habitat conservation and restoration. They can establish and maintain protected areas and wildlife corridors, or reforest degraded elephant habitats. The third one is community engagement and education. They can educate communities about the ecological importance of elephant. They also can promote ecotourism to generate income while preserving elephant habitat. Next one is human-elephant coexistence strategies. They can install early warning system and develop land use planning that considers elephant movement pattern. Then is Case Studies Report. The title of this study is Elephant Migration and Human-Wildlife Conflict in Sabah. The authors is WWF Malaysia and Sabah Wildlife Department in year 2022. The location is at Sabah, Malaysian Borneo. The objective of this report is to understand how human development affects elephant migration and contributes to conflict. Method is GPS tracking of pygmy elephants, field surveys, and interviews with affected communities. Key finding is elephant migration paths are being blocked by plantation and roads, forcing them into human areas. This causes crop damage and tension. Challenge identified habitat fragmentation, blocked migration routes, and increased encounters with humans. The recommendation of The challenge is create wildlife corridors, involve local communities, and introduce compensation for crop losses. And why it is important? Protecting migration routes can reduce conflicts, protect elephant populations, and support biodiversity.
Now I will talk about main stakeholders. First, local communities and farmers. Villages in areas like Kinabatangan are directly affected by crop damage and property loss. Their cooperation is essential in reducing conflict and supporting long-term conservation. Second, government and wildlife authorities. The Sabah Wildlife Department (SWD) enforce laws, manage elephant habitats, respond to conflict cases. Their decisions directly influence elephant protection and land use. Third, conservation NGOs. Organizations such as WWF Malaysia and Hutan KOCP operate in Sabah to protect elephant habitats, monitor elephant movement, and engage with communities.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nofatin Najah binti Ahmad Latif, and I will proceed the presentation about relevant environmental laws and policies. The first one is Wildlife Conservation Enactment 1997 Sabah, which is about protects elephants and outlines penalties for harming them and discuss its effectiveness in addressing conflict. The second one is Environmental Quality Act 1974 in bracket EQA 1974. It's about wild border. It influences land use and environmental impact assessments. Is National Resources and Environment Board Ordinance in bracket NREB Sarawak or Sabah Biodiversity Center Enactment. It talks about while NREB Sarawak discuss any equivalent or relevant biodiversity conservation policies in Sabah that influence habitat protection and land use planning. The last one is Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil in bracket MSPO certification, which is it discuss how the standard aims to promote sustainable practices including wildlife protection, but also its limitation in resolving conflict.
For sustainable solution and community-based action, for awareness and education, we can teach locals about elephant and how to stay safe. We can make school programs, village talk, and simple safety tools like chili or bee fence. For community rangers, local people can be trained to watch elephant movement, help to reduce conflict, and protect farms. For eco-tourism and jobs, we can guide elephant tours to earn income, sell local craft, or try wildlife-friendly farming. In land planning together, villages can join in mapping elephant parks, work with companies to avoid blocking roads. In policy level action, we can make protect elephant corridors for make elephant parks official and protect. We can let elephant pass safely through forests and farms. In stronger project checks (EIA), we can make new farms or roads must be checked for elephant impact. Rules to reduce harm must be followed. Government coordination in wildlife, forestry, and local office work together. We can share data and make a quick decision in conflict cases. In incentive for farmers, we can give a reward to farm that leave space for elephants. We can use special labels for elephant safe product. In support research and funding, we can study elephant behavior and use ideas to prevent conflict. Fund project in affected area.
For our last slide presentation, I would like to talk about the potential barriers and how to overcome. The first one, high cost. One way to overcome this problem is funding for mitigation measures and conservation efforts. The second one, lack of political will. And how to overcome is ensuring strong government commitment. The third one, community resistance. And one way to help this problem is by addressing skepticism or negative attitude towards conservation efforts. Number 4, enforcement challenges, where we can solve the problem by ensuring compliance with environmental laws and land use plans. Lastly, long-term monitoring, where we need the need for continuous monitoring and adaptive management strategies could solve this problem.